Well, let's start off with your latest ad and your latest new picture that you have of Andrew Cuomo of no cojones. What's that mean?
No, the picture doesn't. That's a letter. The picture of him in the shower.
Oh, there's that, but there's also apparently a picture of him that's like it's like the Obama picture, except I'll show you. Let's see here. There it is. Have you seen that?
Is that published by us?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
It's cool.
You saw the letter that you wrote?
Yeah. I wrote the letter. Yeah.
The no cojones letter. What's that mean?
That means that he doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to stand up and tell the people where he stands on issues. That's what it means. I mean, why is he ducking us on having a debate? The debate is intended. I could care less about him. I'll go out and tell the people where I stand on issues. But he's being disrespectful to the taxpayers in not telling them where he stands. We want to know, where are you, Andrew, on Obamacare? Where are you on the waste, fraud, and abuse in our entitlement programs? Where are you on the structure of our government and the fact that our government just raised our taxes by $15 billion in the last 2 years, but they couldn't find one of 298,341 employees. They couldn't find one to lay off. Something wrong here.
Some people might say that this no cojones talk might be a little coarse for the political dialogue. I mean,
I think that's course you better strap in for the ride.
You know what cojones means?
Yes.
And what does testicles have anything to do with the political debate and running for governor?
Well, you know the term.
And what would you say to those who find it a bit rough around the edges?
Strap in.
You had a press conference today taking issue with some comments that you apparently heard about calling Sheldon Silver the Antichrist and likening to Hitler.
I didn't call Sheldon Silver the Antichrist. A fella from our county executive did. And I made a statement that Mr. Collins should not have apologized, because I've known Mr. Collins for a great deal of time, and I know what kind of man he is, and he had absolutely no malintent to the Jewish people, none whatsoever. But he was calling out one individual. Yes.
What about the Hitler part?
He was calling out one individual. He was not trying to in any way upset the Jewish people. I know him better than that, and I think everybody does. And I think, raising a specter here that he has that he's anti-Semitic is absolutely foolish and ridiculous.
Do you think that he should have used a different word to describe someone he disagrees with politically?
No, he chose his words, and they applied their interpretation to him, and the press went out there and buried the guy. That was very unfair and very wrong.
Well, do you think that Shelley Silver is like Hitler?
I think Shelley Silver is a despicable person, okay? And that I stick with.
What about the Hitler part, though?
I didn't say that.
Right,
He
but
said
you're
it.
backing up Chris Collins.
No, I'm not backing him up. I'm saying he should not have apologized.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you see why people might take affront to that?
No, not at all. Not in today's world. You see, the political correctness nonsense is gone. It doesn't exist anymore, because the people find that totally unacceptable. Political correctness is just a way of hiding. It's a way of manipulating. It's a way of inhibiting people from saying and doing the right thing.
Right, but you have some big differences with Sheldon Silver. I think a lot of people
I
do
have
also.
huge differences with Sheldon Silver.
Right, but Adolf Hitler was responsible for killing millions
Why
of
do
people.
you keep referring to Adolf Hitler?
Because that was
I
the press
didn't
conference today.
Well, that's because a bunch of bird dogs for Cuomo are out there having a press conference. That's all they are. They're bird dogs. We bloodied all the rest of them up. We'll bloody the rest of them. Yep.
There was a report today in the Daily News about you getting a big tax break that didn't produce more than one job. What's your thought about that?
I think the Daily News was upset over the fact that they had written a story and then they called us up for a comment on the fact that our Empire Zone credit had been revoked by the Empire State Development Corporation. when we informed them that the revocation was overturned by the New York State Supreme Court Judge Glonia about 2 weeks ago. When we informed them of that, obviously their story was garbage at that point, all right, because they were wrong. Well, they printed it anyway. They threw it out there and just printed nonsense, okay, because we weren't revoked. We were, that it's illegal for the state of New York to change the rules in the middle of the contractual period. It's totally illegal. What they tried to do was wrong, okay, and for a good reason. Because we made huge investments based upon having Empire Zone applicable to the property. Huge investments.
The bigger point, I think, is that you're the recipient of government handouts when you're relying.
They're not handouts. You can't develop in upstate New York without having Empire Zone or 485Es or pilot programs of some sort. Upstate, if you haven't noticed, okay, especially the Buffalo area, they call the second poorest city in America, just behind Detroit. Now, that's a great reputation to have, isn't it? You can't develop in upstate without having some form of subsidy. Yes.
And would you continue that as governor?
A uniform subsidy, yes. Uniform subsidy, not selective subsidies. We look at a plant up in International Wires plant in Camden, New York. Our government selectively subsidized a competitor, a Turkish company, to come in and gave them power credits, job credits, equipment purchase credits, and Empire Zone treatment. All right, they laid it all on them, all right, to get those, to get that company come in and give 600 jobs and put at risk a tax-paying company that has 800 jobs.
Right.
They put them at risk, blindly, without any concern whatsoever as to bringing in a company that's going to compete with a taxpayer and a job creator for New York State. That's atrocious. That's horrible. And using selective subsidies in that respect is wrong, and I won't allow that.
Mr. Paladino, what do you make of when people say that you're a breath of fresh air to a lot of people and that you speak candidly, and certainly the state is facing some tremendous problems, but people fear that you're going to spark violence. People say that this talk about taking a baseball bat to Albany, well, maybe you won't do it and you're using it rhetorically, but that someone else might do it.
It's a metaphor for the people. Yes,
and taking Sheldon Silver up to small towns along the thruway and
and putting him in one of those Roman cages, okay, so that people can see the guy who has tormented New York State for the past 15 years while he's been the majority leader of or the Speaker of the Assembly. Now, this man is not good. He's a despicable man. All right, he keeps his thumb on tort reform, comp reform, malpractice reform, insurance reform, costing New Yorkers billions of dollars in additional fees because he is a partner in Whites and Luxembourg and gets other income from Whites and Luxembourg, all right, and feathers his own nest. That stinks. That's rotten. He's got a conflict of interest, and Andrew Cuomo should have investigated him years ago.
What do you think people should do to him?
I think he should be out of office. I think he should be thrown out of office.
But what this talk about putting him in a Roman cage? What do you mean by that?
It's again a metaphor, okay? Yes, he should be. He should be brought before the people in a court of law, okay, and properly given a fair trial, okay, for his high crimes and misdemeanors.
And what about Cuomo?
What about Cuomo?
What would you like to see happen to him?
I think he should get a bus ticket and go home.
How does it feel to be in New York City? You've had some comments about.
I love it in New York City.
Well, at one time you said that you like two boroughs of it, 2 out of 5, right?
No. I was talking about travel. Getting around here is really tough. You can see it right now. We're stuck. Right? Look at this traffic. Getting around is tough, but that doesn't mean I don't love it here. Yeah.
Favorite parts of New York City?
Right here, Manhattan. Yeah.
Rockefeller Center.
Rockefeller Center. I just took a couple of months ago. I took my daughter skating in that in the ice rink down there. It was a wonderful experience for her. She loved it.
Favorite restaurants here?
Oh, I still like Il Vagabondo. I like that sauce, and I like their little bocce court in there.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. I appreciate it.